Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning back in. I truly appreciate it. Today I will be discussing sisterhood and how my sister discovered their non-binary gender identification. I'm so happy I could have them on. I truly hope you enjoy this episode. So, I didn't write down any questions for sisterhood. I just kind of figured we'd just talk about
Just jump into
everything that just jump into it and talk about everything that affected us as we grew up and our viewpoints of each other as we grew up and how that has changed or how it grew a little bit more powerful. So how did you feel about having me as a sister at a young age? Like, what did that feel like for you?
Well, you were always so much older than me. I mean, in my head at least, I was like, well, you're so old.
Damn. Okay.
So I just remember, but like that gave me the sense that like, oh my God, Asia like has her life together and she's like doing things. Like, so I feel like it was always a position of like admiration where I was like, wow, look at Asia. She's like got it together.
Really? Oh, God. Girl, I feel like I ain't got shit together, but it's like I'm glad you felt that way.
Well, it's all about like the appearance and the actual like truth of the matter is like never aligned.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is that like I always felt as if I could do better, and I always wanted to set a good example for you guys and let you both know that you can do whatever you want. If you want to do a career in music, you can do that. If you want to be a photographer, you can do that. If you want to be a nomad, you can do that. If you want to travel the world, there's just no bounds to what you could do as your own woman. And that's what I, wanted to, I guess, express to you all, because I've always went after what I wanted to do. And I never wanted you both to feel limited in life. But I'm glad that, there was an admiration there, or that it looks like I had my life together.
You have to ask Haley.
I'm glad
she says.
Oh, God. Hopefully it's not a completely different answer.
Like, no, actually,
like,
you seemed, you actually seemed like you were falling apart a lot of the time.
Actually, you were trash. I hated you. But yeah, so as a big sister, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that you were okay, or you guys were okay. And there wasn't a lot that I could do because at a young, you know what I mean?
As
like
a child.
Like me being a child myself, and then making sure that you guys, like, literally taking care of you guys while our dad like slept and was not necessarily giving us the attention that we needed. We love him now. We love you, Dad. Don't take that. We love you, dude. Just chill out. We're not bashing you.
Don't get sad.
Yeah, chill out. But it's just that I think because our relationship with our dad back then was not amazing and it felt a little bit neglectful, I tried to overcompensate for you guys, especially when we were in his presence. How do you did you notice that, or was it very...
I feel like it was kind of the thing though, like well, if Asia's over, Asia's watching us. Like, it's like it was like less of like, oh, like, does Asia have to like turn something on? It was more just like, well, if Asia's here, like, really we're hanging out with Asia, not Dad.
Yeah. And I kind of tried to make the experience of being over at Dad's very. I tried to make it fun
You
because I
did the
know
best
when
you
I
could.
wasn't there, yeah, because I when I wasn't there, it was, I feel like y'all were bored or you just felt very restricted. And, I did, like, you guys are kids. You need to be entertained. Y'all were always like shoving your toys and things like, tablets in my face. Like, look at this. And I'm like, okay. Like, so I
Exactly.
always enjoyed kind of watching you guys develop different interests. And, just I had so much fun watching you grow. I remember when I I don't know why I remember this very specific day, but Haley was like 3, and I think you were
8,
I don't
probably.
even 8, yeah. And we were just at Dad's house, just chilling. I think at that point he still had Cassius, um, his pit bull, and we were just sitting there. And I'm like, these girls are gonna grow up one day, and it's going to break my heart, and I don't want it to happen because you guys are so
Oh
cute.
my
I
god.
don't know. What are you doing right
Oh, right
now?
now
Yeah.
I am like scrolling through The Sims.
Oh my gosh. That's something else we could talk
Exactly,
about
The
because I
Sims.
feel like we're all obsessed with it.
It's your fault,
Yeah,
really.
you guys, I know. I really do have to take ownership for that. Guys, I grew up playing The Sims. My mom was the first person to introduce that game to
Did she
me.
play it?
No, she actually just saw it in GameStop one day
Mm.
and she was like, "Oh, Asia, I think this game would be kind of cool for you. So like why don't you try and play it?" That was an awful idea because then I just started wanting every single
Exactly.
Sims
She did that to herself, honestly. Like, you shouldn't even
game.
feel bad.
Right. She really did. I was like, that was an awful idea. But so um eventually I would play the game or I would try to play the game. You guys would be like, "Can I play? Can I
Or just like
play?"
watching you play, be
Uh,
like, what is that?
yeah, y'all would just sit there and watch me like develop these characters and move them into houses they couldn't afford. So I would do the cheat code and
Exactly. It was
give them
funny.
like millions of
I had a
dollars.
friend like the other day who was just like, we were like on, do you know what Discord is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good. And we were on Discord and just like goofing around. And we were like, we wanted to get together and like stream Minecraft, but apparently you have to
yeah.
pay. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. Um, so we were talking about that, and then we were like, why don't we all just play games we like and like stream them to each other so we can see them.
Yeah.
And so I started
Uh-huh.
playing The Sims, and one of my friends started playing like League of Legends, whatever.
Mm,
And like for
right.
I went on and started playing The Sims, and they started watching me for a little bit. And one of my friends went, he was like, "This is so boring to me." Like he was like, "I can't imagine how anyone would like get pleasure from watching The Sims." And I was like, "You would be surprised." I was like,
Yeah, like you and Haley are like that's our jam. Like
exactly.
that's literally all we play. I would play GTA sometimes,
Mm.
but I think it wasn't really like your guys' speed. Like Haley would play with me sometimes and I feel awful because I feel like I feel like I was exposing that girl to violence, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like our I wouldn't say therapy, but it maybe it was in a way because
Oh God.
that's how we connected.
Don't get
Like that's
into
how
the like
we
the psychoanalysis of people who play The Sims. Like, me and a friend were doing that
dude.
once. We were like, maybe this is related to like how much we love The Sims. It's like related to something. But
It
we were
is
like,
though.
we refused to think about this further. Like we were like, we're not going to explore this line of thought. Let it be what it
But
is.
if we did, all I would have to say is that I think it provided a sense of
Oh, for
comfort
sure.
because you know we live in this world where there's like a crap ton of violence, and then the economy is shit, and then like we work jobs that don't pay us nearly enough to survive. And I think in The Sims, because you can create your own world and you can be someone different, or change your characteristics, it's exciting and it's fun, and excuse me, you can follow your dreams in that game in a sense where it's super successful and you don't have to worry about everything
Exactly.
crashing and burning.
No, literally, you get to
you
like
know
curate the life you want, basically, which is like a
yeah,
fun aspect of it. You literally can,
yeah.
to your heart's desire, like control everything. And I think it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for people who like might feel like a lack of control in their life, I think it's like that is exactly why it's kind of amazing, because it's like, oh my god, I can like make everything perfect. Like I can download a mod to control the weather, and you can like make the perfect family. Like it's really in that way, it's like
Yeah.
crack, because you're like, I get to control everything.
Yes,
It's
girl.
amazing.
I was like, oh my god. And you know, you because you can control everything, and then you kind of just step back into reality. It's so sad. I'm
Yeah.
like, ew. I have to go back to work. Like, and we don't have to dive deep into it, obviously. But as well, one, I already know you're a very hardworking
Mm.
person. Like, even from well, even Haley too. She's hardworking and stuff, and she knows how to apply herself very well. But when it comes to you, I feel like out of the three of us, you literally drive yourself
I
insane when it comes to getting good grades, working and doing a good job at work. And it's just like you hold yourself to a higher level of expectation that I've never
oh my
seen
god.
before. What is up with that, bro? Like,
Oh my
it's a
god.
little
I
concerning.
mean, what can I
It's
say? One of my friends, I was like describing to him like my routine during finals week, like how I try to like get
mm,
finish like all my work, but also just like do other stuff. And he was like, he heard all of it, and then he just turned around and he was like, "Do you ever just like try torture methods on yourself?"
Stop it. Get some
Because
help.
I was
girl.
like,
Okay, now I have to hear this
okay,
routine. What is
well,
the
I was telling him
routine?
like I had a lot of work to do, so I was like, well, this is what I'll do. I'll just like do as much work as I can, like physically, that's physically possible. And then I will
Mm,
sleep for 4 hours, and then get up,
mm.
do more work, sleep for 4 hours, and just like keep repeating
Oh my
that
god.
until I finish
Oh
everything.
my god.
And he was,
That's a vicious
yes, and he
cycle.
was like, yeah, so that sounds crazy. Which to
Is
be
this
fair,
your best friend that you were telling
oh,
this
this
to?
who was the grades of friendship. I'm the kind of person in my mind, for me, I have like one best friend, and then everyone else is
Right.
like they're like, they're good
They're like,
friends, but they're
you
not
know.
going to be my best friend. Like they were really close. Like I was talking about this with my best friend. Her name's Talia. She is, amazing.
Uh-huh. I know
Hmm.
Talia. She's the best. Hey,
Shout out
girl.
to Talia. Um
uh,
but I was telling her, I was like, do you consider yourself as having like multiple best friends? Because I was like, to me, you're like my best friend, and that's it. Everyone else is like
mm-hmm.
close friends, but I have one best friend.
And what did she
And she was
say?
like, "Oh, I really think of it as like I have multiple best friends," but she was like, "I like that I like that you consider me your only best friend." Um,
Oh my god. I bet you were like, wow, that's crazy. Are you one of those people that when she calls somebody else her best friend, you
oh my
like
god.
give undeniable side eye and you're like, that's
I'm
wild.
disgusted
I'm
every
your only
time.
best
Like if she even posts something with someone else, I look at it and I'm like, Like, it's crazy because I'm like not in her city, you know, like we're far, and it's like not like I would want her to like not have friends, but I see that and I'm like, like, who is that?
The disrespect. Yeah, like, who is this person? You don't even
I know
them.
like, they don't know you like I do. Like,
Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Fucking
I know.
funny. Oh my god.
I'm actually a very
have...
jealous person, but I just don't act on my jealousy. That's a fun fact about me.
Spicy. Let's talk about your journey as a non-binary woman. I almost said, did you hear what I said? I almost said non-binary woman. What the fuck?
Non-binary person. I don't really see my...
Yeah, non-binary. See, I'm already, I'm still messing it up.
It's
my god.
You know, it's a journey. On both
non-binary person. I literally am, honestly, I'm learning from you, and I'm also trying to educate myself on non-binary people, because I really truly want to understand, and I don't want to misgender anyone that I come across ever, because I want people to feel comfortable around me, and I don't necessarily want to put them in a place that is uncomfortable. So if you could
impart some
shine
wisdom.
a light on impart some wisdom about how to make, you know, non-binary people feel comfortable, or, you know, what has been your experience as a non-binary person so
I will
far?
say, you know, recent non-binary person, I suppose, recently just dropped. And it was actually something I've been like thinking about for a while, because I mean, like ever since high school, I think it like started, and I was like, I don't know. It all just stemmed from the fact that I was like, I don't know if I'm a girl, if I like, you know, vibe with like that exactly, you know. I was like, I don't know if like, I was like, I don't know if that's me for real.
I mean, honestly, being your older sister, and you can also tell me if I'm very wrong, but I noticed that you weren't really a girly girl at a super young age, or I noticed something was a little different.
Blocked.
No, because I did notice that you weren't into like the glitz and glam of being a girl. Not that you rebelled against it, but you were just kind of like it's not really that serious. Because you never played with dolls. Like, you never wanted to wear, like, you never pointed out things where it's like, oh, I want to wear that. You know what I mean? You were always so focused on you know, school and very technical things and music. And if I showed you something, I'm like, Ashley, isn't this cute? You would be like,
like for sure.
I'd be like, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's so awesome. But I think you started developing a different gender identity in like late middle school days and early high school days.
Yeah, and it was all like
hazy.
Like it was definitely like a developing thing. Like I didn't even like really think of it as something that would like really manifest into anything for a long time. Like, and what I mean is I just like it was like freshman year of college or something, and I was like, you know, and I was like feeling, I guess, like more non-binary, and I was like, you know, maybe this is something. And so I told all my friends, I was like, hey, can you like address me with like they them pronouns, just so I can like see the vibe. And that was the big thing. I was like, I don't feel the need for like, you know, gender reassignment therapy or surgery or like, you know, that sort of thing. And I necessarily didn't even like feel like I had to change my pronouns. So I was like, well, surely I can't be like non-binary or like trans or anything if like these things aren't like super important to me. that was like my kind of like reasoning in my head. So I was like,
because I have a quick question, because so the way transgendered works, and I know what it means, and I understand what happens when you become transgender, obviously, but when you become a transgendered person, that's like you're literally transgendered because you're wanting to change, like you're wanting to get that surgery, like
or
you're
not even
wanting to
like the
get
surgery. It's like just a feeling that like, you know, you don't conform or, you know, identify with your like gender at birth. You know.
Okay. So it's not necessarily that you have to get like that you're getting that surgery. It's just you don't identify with your current gender.
Exactly.
Like, or the gender that you were
literally
born with.
that. Because there are a ton of people who like don't get the surgery, who like, you know, who do like hormone replacement therapy. Like so many people have like different journeys, and none of them are like exactly the same.
Okay.
And so
because
so that was like my dilemma, because I was like, well, I don't feel like a woman basically, but I don't feel like I need to do all these other things. So I was like, what does this mean for me? I really don't know.
Well, one, I I remember when you came out to me, and it was via Snapchat. This was it literally,
oh my God,
literally cracked me up, because the way you talk about things that make you feel uncomfortable or that make you super nervous, honestly, it cracks me up, because I'm like, one, you can always come to me about anything, because I love you, and I'm not gonna make you feel as if, you know, anything you talk to me about is like fucking ridiculous, you know, like I'm always gonna try to help you. So, and be there for you. But I remember the day you came out to me and you were like, how do you feel about gay people? And I was like, they're people, and I don't see them as any different.
So
I mean, I think they're okay. I was like, I don't even know how to respond to this.
No, I was literally like, yeah, so like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like, what are
in
your
case
thoughts
you were
on
like,
gay people?
they're disgusting.
Like, you know,
I can't stand.
oh, girl, no.
But that was my thing in my head. I was like, you know, there's at any given time, you know.
Yeah. So just to clarify, everyone, Ashley came out
Lesbian.
as, was it lesbian first, right? And then eventually, like very recently, I
very
would
recently
assume you came out as non-binary.
Those are
so
coexisting.
I've always
don't ask
known
about it. People like, one of my friends was like, so like, how does that work? And I was like, I don't have to. I was like, hey, you and me both.
Hey.
We're both wondering that.
It's like, hey, I don't get it either. Like, it's like, I don't know. I'm
Great
still
question,
trying to figure
actually.
It out. But so when that happened, from my viewpoint, I was like, yeah, girl, I already know.
This
like,
is confirming something.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I don't feel any different about you because you are gay or you just came out, but I could tell you were super nervous. And I said, girl, like I've known you since you were born, and nothing has changed. So, but I was happy that you came out to me, honestly. And I was excited to be there for you and let you know that I still support you. And then I think who was the next person?
I think it was Dad and then you.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, was it Dad? And then I think we were the only two people that knew for a hot minute.
And then
besides Haley,
she's just like there for the ride.
Yeah.
Literally. And yeah, so that was it for a while. And I told my friends, I was like, hey, use these pronouns for me. Let me see what the vibe. And they did. And I was like, honestly, I'm not feeling any, like, I was like, this is okay. Like, if anything, I was like, this is like making me just like more alert when people are talking about me, but it didn't like make me feel like euphoric. I was like, yes. So I was like, oh, I don't know if this is working either. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just like exist and keep existing. But then recently, just like being in college or whatever, I was like, actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind, going by they, them pronouns. Actually, I would like it. And so I've been like rocking the they, she for a while now, just like telling people like, yeah, whatever. Because I still don't like feel extremely strongly about it, but I'm like, if you can, please.
If you could just, address me correctly, that'd be great.
But I'm not like,
yeah, girl,
crazy about it.
I mean, wait, so am I, see, I always say,
That's
girl,
fine.
or like child,
that's fine.
or something
I
like
call
that.
myself a girl.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I'll be like, I'm not that kind of girl, honestly. But that's just such a great phrase. I don't want to stop saying that.
Was there ever a time where you felt as though somebody was maybe being purposely disrespectful towards you, or did you feel as though they just weren't trying?
I mean, there were definitely times, because you know how I had my hair shorter in high school? I kind of looked more butch.
Yes.
There were 100% times where like
a hot butch.
I know, I was kind of like really eating. There were so many times where I would like just be looking very like masculine on the street, and like people would totally like treat me a different way. It was insane.
So how would they treat you?
Well, some people were just like upfront hostile. Like I remember, I'll never get over. Like I was walking past this group of boys, and they were like, "Yo, like my boy wants to like talk to you," and I was like, "Nah, like no thanks." And he was like, "Stupid dyke," and I was like, "Oh, but that's crazy." I was like, "But that's really interesting because you just wanted to."
Okay, but what? So where were you at when this happened? What did they look like? I'm ready to
literally,
fight.
like walking home.
I want to track these people down.
It was so wild, honestly. I was like, how? I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me, but sure.
I still want to fight. I don't like them. I still want to fight them. Anyway, if you ever see them and we're together hanging out, I want you to point them out so I can just go, rough them up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, yo, you remember like years ago when you just said, they'd be like,
yeah,
who the
honestly.
fuck are you?
So anyway,
continue.
That happened.
What else?
Literally had other instances of just people calling me a dyke, which was interesting. And then, there are times where like I would just like look very masculine and like, I don't know, be buying something from a store or like ordering something, and I could see people like just like looking at me, and they're like, what is going on here? Like they're like, is this a girl? Like I can tell that's what they're thinking. They're like, I don't know. They're like, this is strange.
Yeah. In high school, you started dressing in, really cute clothes. Like, but they were a bit more masculine. So I noticed that there was a shift in the way that you were presenting yourself. And I'm not going to lie, I was a bit concerned. I was like, damn, she's going to have to go through people treating her a certain way or just kind of judging her based off of how she looks. And
it is totally
or like you had mentioned, and as you mentioned earlier, people being confused about which gender you are. And it really worried me because at that point, I think there was an escalation in bi and queer and non-binary people, even trans people as well, especially trans people being discriminated against, and there was a lot of violent acts happening towards them as well. And honestly, it didn't start to happen. It was already happening, but it was just getting worse. And I was like, oh my God, my sister is out here just minding her own business and existing on these, Philadelphian streets. And I am scared.
I think that's definitely
like
like a
what if
fair
somebody
reaction for sure. Like I would be too. I'd be like, damn.
Yeah. It's terrifying because I've always been overly protective of you guys. I'm like, be careful when you walk outside and you're wearing headphones. You know what I mean? Like somebody could sneak attack you or something. But I you guys are such good people. You and Haley are amazing human beings, and you're very kind, and you're hilarious, you're smart. But I know other people in the world who don't know you are going to judge you based off of, their first appearance and their first interaction. So you being um a lesbian back then, I was like, I was very scared. I was always concerned about what would happen the day after that or the day after that. And I wanted you to talk to me about your experiences, but also I can't relate. So I understand why you would go to other people,
Yeah, that was definitely a thing.
talking about those things. I don't know.
And especially like childhood is such a time, or not childhood, like adolescence, like being a teenager, you're feeling so like, I feel like isolated all the time, or it's like it's such a time of like figuring out like who am I, like, and what places do I fit in, like what people do I fit in with, where's my community. And so it's like a scary, moment where everything feels like super serious and you're like, well, I don't know.
Because I mean, you're almost at a point where you have to be an adult now. Like you're thinking about college, you're thinking about what career field you want to get into, and that is a very scary time. Let me tell you, it's a little terrifying, and Haley's going through that right now, which I think the pressure of it all might be affecting her as well. But literally, in general, being a teenager it's a lot because you're trying to figure out who you are, and you feel this immense amount of pressure from your parents to go to college maybe, or figure out what you're going to do with your life, what job you're going to get. And you're going through all these changes. So mentally, it's a little
I think for
taxing on the
sure.
brain and on the and on the emotional side of things. It's a bit taxing
And I think
as well. So because I know I was a little crazy. I was a little crazy.
Like teenagers,
I would have my moments where one second I'm chilling and the next second I'm like, get out of my face, And
but at the same time, you're going through such a difficult period of like, right.
I was a kid, man. I was honestly a kid, and when I would do that to you and Haley, I would be like,
sure.
Oh my God,
I remember
so
like having my little outbursts and being like, that was embarrassing. Sometimes I still have a little outburst.
Oh my God. It was I've experienced you having an outburst. I've experienced Haley having an outburst, and each time I'm like,
it's
okay.
age where you're having a lot of outbursts.
I'm like, are you guys okay?
But I feel like it's
happening?
healthy.
I remember when you guys would
I
get in
really
fights.
go against the idea, kids should be quiet and kids should be like, I think actually if you see like a well-mannered, like quiet child, there's something wrong with that child, or something like something's going to happen with that child. Like 2 years later, they're going to be like a crazy, like,
or they're forced to be in that position because they're not allowed to voice their opinions, and they're not allowed to, or they don't have this space to open up and really express how they truly feel. And I feel, honestly, I really feel awful for individuals who have to go through that. Because they're so late.
No, that is so true. And that's actually something I like kind of, discovered, or not discovered, but like while being at, you know, in college, I was like, I'm kind of like, I couldn't help but feel like I was like behind on the like, you know, just like self-development game. I was like, do I know myself? You know, in 3 a.m. I was like, who am I? um, because I was like, I feel like I spent all of my childhood like, you know, thinking about school, thinking about grades. Like that's what I like lived for. And I was like, you know, actually the other people who I might have looked down on who were like partying and like being wild, like they were experiencing life though. Like they were living, and I don't know. I feel like you're not gonna, and you're not really gonna get a chance to live like that like when you're older. Like yeah, maybe you have the weekends when you're like 20 or whatever.
I mean, you can be a little reckless, but I mean, at some point you gotta be responsible and just kind of
Right. You
try to
can't do
get
it
your
all the
life
time.
together and try to stop doing those things. Or if you do it all the time, that's great. And if you can handle that lifestyle and fund that lifestyle, that is
But for the
perfectly
rest of
fine.
us,
But
the...
yeah, I'm like, girl, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I really feel like when you got to college, that's when everything started changing for you. Like there was just such a trajectory in your gender identification to the point it was like, okay, all right, she's starting to feel comfortable, like she's really starting to figure it out. Because we've had so many more talks about your experience as both a lesbian and a non-binary person, and I'm like, I was like, okay, so this is right. We're feeling comfortable.
Yeah,
things
for
are
sure.
happening here. Oh, I wanted to ask you, is there anything you wanted to ask me, like that you felt as if you couldn't, like ever, and now you're just kind of like,
oh my
God, should ask her now.
Well,
I want to know. Go ahead.
Let me think. Anything I really wanted to ask you? I guess okay. Yeah, why did you want to join the Air Force? That's I think for
why
me
did
that's
I
a
want
big
to?
question of like why.
I'm a very, what's the word? I'm a very adventurous person, but I have always loved a challenge. And I also knew that the Air Force would provide a safety net for me once I do retire, and then I step into a different career field after I leave. I'll just continuously will get money for retirement, on the side. So it's just kind of like passive income. So if I only have to do this for at least a couple years to get passive income, and then go back to school, get my degree, get out of the military, and then pursue a career that is a little bit better paying, or it pays a bit better, then that's fine with me. So it was kind of, to answer your question, it was because it seems challenging and I liked that. I love a challenge. And then also I could go to school for free. I could live in a different country without paying for it, essentially. And the discounts, I'm going to be taking advantage of the discounts, and just meeting different people from all over the world. I wanted to ask you a quick question before we end here. I'm going to ask you too, but did you ever feel as though I was too private about the things that were going on personally in my life? Or did you ever feel as if you didn't know me on a deeper level because of how I tried to shield you guys away from like the nonsense that was going on in my life?
It's complicated because I feel like I understood that you were a private person, but I was also a very like reserved person to a certain degree. So I was like, well, that's I was like, yeah, sure. Like that was understandable to me, especially like given just like the way our family was, like big emotional like confessions weren't really a thing. So it's like I was like, yeah, like,
yeah.
But then on the one hand, I do feel like that inevitably does create some distance, and I'm not saying that's like necessarily your fault or anything, but like I feel like that just arises as a consequence of that whole thing.
That's true. And as uncomfortable as it was, I definitely I tried to force myself to be very close to you, or I tried my best to be close to you and Haley. And it was hard. The last question that I wanted to ask was how can people who are not binary, or how can we as a society continue to support our
LGBT.
Let me start over. Yeah. How can we as a society continue to support LGBTQI?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Did I say it right? Okay. How can we as a society continue to support our LGBTQI community in the best way possible?
It's safe to be like, hey, like, what are your pronouns? And then you can know how to like properly address the person. I think like certain like there's like certain choice things that's like, maybe using partner when referring to someone's like significant other instead of like girlfriend, boyfriend. Like those are little things. I'm a kind of person who generally, if I'm just like talking about anyone who I don't really know that well, I use like the they pronoun. But I think honestly it's all about like talking, because like with being trans, with being non-binary, all of that, it's such a nuanced thing, and that identity is so personal from person to person. So I think it's really all about talking to that person and being like, how can I make you comfortable? And like it's all about on a person to person basis. I think just like learning how to properly address them or whatever.
Well, that is it, everybody. Let me know what you thought of this episode via Instagram or in person, whatever works. I would love to hear your feedback. Episode 3 may be coming out towards the end of this month. I'm trying to upload more frequently, so please bear with me, and thank you for all of your support. Random note, have you noticed how each and every one of my guests, even though I've only had like 3 so far, they've called me old? How rude. How rude. Anyway, follow me at _AR Walker on Instagram for updates. Remember, you can listen to CWNT right here on Spotify. Also, happy Pride Month to the LGBTQI plus community. You are loved, you are supported, and I hope you have a great month. Bye, guys.